Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Weather Sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about another large storm that's going to be coming to the United States over the next couple of days. And this is going to bring a lot of impact, as not only are we anticipating the potential for severe weather by the time we get into the beginning of next week, which will be the end of this weekend, but we could also be talking about heavy snowfall, especially on the northern side of the system, mixed with a little bit of freezing rain at times. And then down here in the deep south, we may also see some heavy rainfall as well, which could lead to some isolated flooding issues. And then after that, we will be going over some future storms that we could see into the future, which as we go into April, we're expecting a really active April, which we will show you guys as we get in today's forecast. Well, let's first start off by talking about the storm system as of right now, and you guys can see that by the time we get into the end of this weekend and into the beginning of next week, we will be tracking that storm system, like I said, which will likely lead to areas of snow, perhaps even a little bit of freezing rain in some areas, so definitely be cautious if you do live up here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, as this will likely be coming your guys' way this weekend. But even down here across the lower Ohio Valley, all the way back down there into the Arklatex region, we could be seeing some showers mixed with a few isolated thunderstorms. And I think the biggest concern for severe weather will be right in this area right here, which we do actually have a slight risk level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather right in that area, as you can see. And what's interesting is that they have actually moved it, at least the slight risk, a little bit farther down to the south than what it was showing yesterday. That's kind of interesting, but I still wouldn't be surprised if they did move the slight risk just a little farther north, maybe up there towards Nashville, Clarksville, or just somewhere in southern Kentucky. So we will keep an eye on it very closely to see where this slight risk really ends up going, because as of right now it looks like they're not as confident about severe weather farther to the north, but that could very well change, as even this marginal risk could very well go northward too as well, which if it does, we will let you guys know. But if we also look at what we will be seeing as for rain, you guys can see that we also do have a marginal risk for flash flooding hanging from northern Louisiana all the way back up there into Tennessee on day 4, that then shifts down there towards Florida. But after looking at the Storm Prediction Center, they do not have any severe weather threat issued for that day, which is good news, but we will still need to keep an eye on those areas very closely, as continuous rainfall does look likely with the system, so make sure to be on high alert. Now, the other thing I wanted to go over is also those snowfall totals, which as you guys can see, for your snowfall totals, we will be tracking some pretty high snowfall totals, especially up there towards Minnesota and Wisconsin, as we could be seeing anywhere from a couple inches of snowfall all the way up there to a foot of snowfall by the time we get into the beginning of next week. And the snowfall could even continue into the middle of next week as well, which would be a couple of days worth of snow. But even over here across the northeast, maybe some snowfall falling there too as well, including parts there of northern New York. So we will need to keep an eye on it very closely over the next couple of days to see how this plays out. But from what we know so far, though, most of the snowfall should stay north of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and as well as the Mid-Atlantic, which is good news, but you guys still need to be on high alert if you do live up here in the Great Lakes region or even the Northeast. If we also look at those winds, you guys can see that winds could very well gust between 40 to 50 miles per hour up here across the upper Midwest. 40 50 mile per hour wind gusts will likely even continue across the East Coast and as well as the Northeast too as well. And then we even got some widespread 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts ongoing in the higher elevations, which will also be another thing to really keep an eye on. So make sure you guys are all being on high alert out there, as I do think think this storm is really going to bring some strong wind gusts, which could even lead to blizzard conditions up there in the upper Midwest. So make sure you guys are being on high alert as we get into the beginning of next week. But even you guys over here in the higher elevations could also be experiencing 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So make sure you guys are also being on high alert out there as well. Now, let's talk about some future storms that we may have to watch for as we take this forward. And after that storm system passes, we may have a few clippers trying to come on down from Alberta, but other than that, we're not really concerned till we get into the end of March. Look at this. As we get into the end of March, probably a little overdone by the way for how this looks, but we could see another big snowstorm on the northern side of the system mixed with widespread severe weather on the southern side of the system, and that's exactly what it shows. Look at this, guys. We could be seeing some pretty large amounts of energy if this will work. Sorry about that, guys. We could be seeing some very large amounts of energy surge on in from the Gulf by the time we get into Saturday, March 29th. Maybe not very widespread, but it definitely will head from west to east, heading from the Midwest, continuing across the Ohio Valley, and even towards the East Coast. And that's exactly what it shows, as you can see right there, by the time we get into the very end of March. So this will be something to really keep an eye on closely, as this storm will really bring some pretty big effects. But even as we get into the beginning of April, I am anticipating some widespread severe storms to get ongoing, which we will keep an eye on very closely. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we are here to keep you all safe and informed about the weather. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to also like this video by giving a thumbs up. Make sure to also share this video by clicking the share button down below and sharing it with friends, family, or anyone you know on social media. Not only does this really help support the channel out a lot, but I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Friday out there, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.